Deepika looks
Yeah.
fab. I mean, she's an amazing actor, and we all look up to her. But her role, if I were to like break it down, is very different from what I'm doing here. I'm just so happy that they've come to India, and that's Miss World has played such an important role in my life, and they've given me so much. They gave me such a big platform. But I would love to talk about whether I'm in the film, whether I'm not in the film, what am I doing, what am I playing. But I have to say this: the film looks very big. It's gotten as much action as you would want. It's gotten as much entertainment.
Hi Manushi, welcome to Filmibeat.
Hi, thank you.
First of all, let me start by asking you, just few days for Operation Valentine to hit the big screens. What kind of a feeling are you going through? Nervousness, excitement? What's there right now?
Well, I've always been excited about this project much before we even started shooting, because I think it's a very, very sweet film. It's a very sweet story. Of course, there's a lot of emotion, action. There's a lot of patriotism in the film, but the heart of the film is in its emotions. That's the soul of the film, if I might say so. And I am excited now. I've started to realize that people will get to see the film, and audiences will give their verdict. So maybe I was so I'm more excited to actually see how people respond to it, because I'm sure people will love it. At the same time, maybe I was a little nervous during the trailer launch, because I was like, oh my god, now finally people will see all the work that we put into this film, and I hope that they all like it. So yeah, I was nervous for a bit, and now I'm excited.
Right, I would like to know first time when you actually wore that IF pilot uniform, it's like
Yeah.
a very different feeling you must be going through. What was that feeling? Because it's a very proud moment for anyone. I mean, of course, the people who are working there, they must be having a different feeling. But as an actor, when you wore that uniform, how was that feeling?
See, we all look up to the armed forces and people who work
Yeah.
in the armed forces. I think it's one of the growing up, there's a certain amount of coolness to it. It comes with a certain amount of discipline, responsibility, focus, priorities. And we did have a lot of character prep, but the minute we were in the uniform, we were all like automatically, our spines would be straight, and we'd walk a certain way. We'd have a certain command in our voices. So that would change. And well, I did keep my badges from set, and all my recommendations, and I also kept my overalls. So I have those at home with me. And I think you don't get to see the best part about being an actor is that you get to experience all these characters. I mean, otherwise I would have never gotten to wear the uniform.
Right. Of course, this movie was shot in Hindi and Telugu. How difficult
Yes.
was it to get the Telugu language for you, And have you
Well,
dubbed the Telugu version?
so I did say my Telugu dialogues. I had to learn everything. So I pretty much learned I had to learn the entire script. Like how I learned my Hindi dialogues, Telugu was tougher, because a lot of the times I did not know the grammar. Like, I obviously don't know the grammar, and I would not know the meaning of what I'm saying. So I had to break down everything and understand. So it was tough, but I think the Telugu film industry, they are masters of making non-Telugu speakers act in their films, and I guess managed it pretty well. Like when I saw
Right.
the
And
Telugu, I said, okay, fine. It looks like I speak Telugu.
and what about the dubbing? Are you planning to do it? Have you done it for yourself, or someone else has done it?
So most of the dubbing I've done, but of course I've taken help, especially for the Telugu parts.
Right. How was it to team up with Varun? He actually comes from this huge South Indian family of all the actors. So when you go on set
Yeah.
with him, how was it to be with him on the sets?
Varun is a very there's a lot of simplicity to him, and he's a very easy person to work with. Yes, he comes from the mega family. How cool is that? But I think he brings a lot of uh, himself and not where he comes from to set. He's, like I said, very easy to work with. He really takes care of everyone else's comfort. Um, he is one of the nicest co-actors to have. Like, he's a very, very good co-actor. He's a team player. And I think I've really enjoyed working with him, especially because the Telugu bits would kind of give me some amount of stress. And I think he was quite understanding to that.
Right. Of course, just like a few weeks ago, we watched Fighter, which was kind of on the similar storyline and everything. So, of course,
Mhm.
the comparison are about to happen. Of course, when the trailer came out, people started comparing you with Deepika and the looks that you guys have, maybe similar and everything. When you read about those
Yeah.
comparisons, so of course, it's good because Deepika was amazing in the Fighter. So, of course, if we are
Yeah.
compared with her, I mean, you and we are expecting that from you. The audience is expecting that from you. So, that this comparison
Yeah.
put a kind of a pressure on you.
Not really. See, the pressure is in playing a role like this because there's so much responsibility that comes with portraying an Air Force officer. Deepika looks
Yeah.
fab. I mean, she's an amazing actor, and we all look up to her. But her role, if I were to like break it down, is very different from what I'm doing here. It's quite nice if people are comparing. I see that as a good amount of push for me to make sure that I also do a good job like she did. And well, she's flying a chopper. I'm yet to. I still have to watch Fighter because I've been promoting. I've not gotten the time to watch any films in theaters, but I'm a radar controller, and for me, I think that's very exciting because I don't. We have seen female actors play Air Force pilots, but we've not seen them play radar controllers as much. So so that way the role is very different, the character is different, the story is different. It is very much about the Air Force, so I think that's clarity. And it is about it, and we've used a similar incident, but our film is more, there's more emotion, it's more about the Air Force officers and how they decide what they decide to do, and how much pressure their jobs put on them, and how they have to make decisions in milliseconds, how that affects their personal relationships, their lives, their relations with their colleagues, their juniors. So it's more about that, it's more about the Air Force. And we've also shown a similar incident, but the stories and all, from whatever I've picked up from the trailers, are very different. And so it's a different, like, I think it's a different take on things, so that'll be interesting. And talking about the look, well, yes, there's a uniform, you can't like just create something so new, there's only a little bit that you can do.
Right.
Even for me, my look, we had to make it authentic, so there is one uniform that you wear. So any character who will be playing an Air Force officer in the contemporary times, unless you get to wear the older uniform that they have, you look will be similar. Your hair has to be tied in a bun, tightly tied in a bun. So it's, the look cannot be different, too different. Yeah, so I mean, when someone as senior and as good as Deepika does a role, then it also sets a certain benchmark, which is great, because that if the benchmark's already up there, then you have to kind of somewhere hit close to that, so that it's good, it pushes you to grow.
Right. Of course, I know that you might not be able to speak much about it, but next is also a very big film, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan. It's going to be an action extravaganza. I know that much. And but how has that been? I mean, if you can just give us something about it.
Well, Murtaza, I'd say that we'll have to do another interview for that for sure. But I would love to talk about whether I'm in the film, whether I'm not in the film, what am I doing, what am I playing. But I have to say this, the film looks very big. It's gotten as much action as you would want. It's gotten as much entertainment, as much star value. It's a full package. And I would love to speak more about it, but I'll only speak about it when we actually do an interview for it.
Right. Manushi, this year Miss India pageant is happening in Miss World pageant is happening in India. How are you planning to be associated with it, and how excited you are for it?
Well, I did meet them during their press conference in Delhi, and I'm just so happy that they've come to India, and that's Miss World has played such an important role in my life, and they've given me so much. They gave me such a big platform. So I'm just excited to see, that finally my country is going to get to see what girls experience, which, the journey that leads up to that crowning night. And at the same time, I'm happy that they are going to get to see what India has to offer. I remember I have such fond memories from China when I went to compete. We were hosted so well, and India is, I think, if you talk about hospitality, I think India is number one in the world. So these girls are going to get to experience Indian hospitality. They're going to get to talk about it back home, talk about, how wonderful India is, and the whole world will be watching India.
Right, and I just said Sini Shetty is representing India there. Have you spoken to her? Would you like to give her any tips? Because of course, Miss World is not a small thing, Manushi. You won that. You bought the crown after so many years. So, are you planning to guide her for this journey of hers?
I haven't met her yet, but all I'd say is all the best. And the one thing that I always tell girls who go to compete, even at Miss India or Miss World, or whenever they reach out to me, I think there have been some very sweet girls who'd reach out to me and ask me about, what they should expect. I'd say that, you need to remember that you're representing your country, and especially when it's a host country, the responsibility is even more. So make sure that you always remember that and you keep that responsibility and carry that with a lot of pride with you. And at the same time, make sure that you have a lot of fun and don't think too much about the competition. I mean, that's what I did. I had a lot of fun.
Right. So, Manushi, it was lovely chatting with you. All the best in
Right.
Valentine and Bade
Thank
Miyan Chote
you.
Miyan. And hopefully to do a bigger interview for Bade Miyan Chote Miyan in person, maybe.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.
Bye.